look at this place.
It's okay. Draw some big ones and draw some little ones. You can draw any They are.
Kacie, thank you for taking time to meet with us.
Thanks for coming.
Inviting us over here. Can you tell us about a little bit about the building, the facility you use?
Yeah, so we actually meet at the Refuge Church, which is it's in Bowling Green, and we meet in their children's building. So this is all geared towards kids.
Okay.
And then their main church is across the parking lot over there. But yeah, they have graciously allowed us to come in and to use the whole building as we need to. So we're able to kind of spread out and have our whole campus here, which is great.
Nice. So in your campus, about how many families do you have?
We have, I believe it's about 11 families, and we have, presently we have programs for our nursery age, and then age 4 to 12, and then we also have a 7th grade program, and then freshmen.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So it just keeps growing.
It does.
Do you know when it first started?
I don't know when Kacie started. We started our Bowling Green campus. This is our 2nd year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so tell us a little bit about what CC is.
So CC is what we call Classical Conversations, and it is a program that kind of takes you back to sort of the one-room schoolhouse mentality. All of our kids, it really plays off of a child's natural development. So when they're in the younger years, we can really pour a lot of information into them and they can remember it. Even if they don't quite understand exactly how it all fits together, they can remember
a solid
it.
Foundation.
Right. And then as they get older, they go deeper into subjects, and they start, the whole goal is to know God and to make Him known. And so our goal is that our children can see God in even the tiniest of things, and they can see how His whole world relates together. So science can relate to English, and Latin relates into science, all of that kind of stuff. They start making those connections, and then that helps. But as kids get older, they naturally become more inquisitive. And as they become more inquisitive, then they're able to start asking questions. And then they enter the phase when they're older where they can actually start, they've taken in all the information, they've asked the questions, and they can actually start presenting it back. So you have to have long-range vision with CC. It's not something that you're going to maybe understand, like, why is my 4-year-old understanding the parts of a plant cell or learning the parts of a plant cell? Well, your 4-year-old's not going to understand that.
They're going to introductory level.
Right. But when we come back around to that again, they'll have that information hung, and they'll be familiar with the terminology.
And they'll just build, like you said, deeper and deeper.
It's building blocks.
So it's not necessarily segmented to where this grade learns this. It sounds like it's a lot more holistic.
Right, it is. It's very much so. Our kids, we have 2 classes right now. One that's from 4 up to about 7, and then from 7 up to, or from 8 to 12. And they're all learning the same memory work, but the tutor or the lead learner in the classroom is actually teaching or introducing the memory work to them for the week. They're learning the same memory work, so when they go home, siblings are learning the same things. Absolutely. So I have a 12-year-old and a 6-year-old. They can actually work together on learning their memory. And so that's why it kind of goes back to the one-room schoolhouse thing, where they learned the same material, but they just learn how to apply it a different way. So my 12-year-old has an understanding of what a plant cell is. My 6-year-old just understands the parts of a plant cell.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. And then can you tell us a little bit more about the presentation part where they are starting to get back?
Yeah. So even as a 4-year-old, we have a time dedicated to in our community day called presentation time.
Okay.
When they're younger, it's more like a show and tell kind
Sure.
of situation. But as they get older, they start giving reports on book reports. They teach their peers how to do something, how to draw something, and so we start working.
Skills.
Yeah, we start working at a very young age at getting up in front of a group and demonstrating what they know, and then making good eye contact. But then we're also working with the kids that are watching the presentation to be good listeners and to actively listen so they can ask good questions at the end.
Man, that is fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing. I will never forget watching my 4-year-old, at one point, like stand up, and I'm like, wow, she's like way more relaxed than I am. I still get nervous in front of people.
Right.
But it's going to be a part of her
becomes
life.
natural, doesn't it, for
Yep.
them when they learn it so young. Well, what a wonderful program.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know a lot about classical conversations, but every little piece I've learned, I'm just so impressed with it.
Oh, thank you. We
It
love
takes
it.
a lot of time and dedication, I'm sure, from the parents.
It does. They are, the kids sit in the classes with us, but honestly the tutors are they're introducing the material to the parents.
Okay.
So that way the parents we call them the lead learners.
Okay.
The parents can go home and they've been introduced, maybe your child was introduced in the classroom by like tossing a ball while they recite their 7 times tables.
Okay.
Then it gives parents ideas for how to do this at home with their kids, and that way they're not feeling like I don't know where to
So lots of
start.
support for the parents then. And the parents are working with their own children about 4 days a week? And then on the
So
fifth
we
day,
meet on Fridays. Each community does it differently, and there are a lot of communities around.
Okay.
There's one in Hannibal, and there's
Okay.
one down in Troy. There's it's becoming more and more like kind of well known in the area, which is great because we love it.
I was going to ask if someone was interested in finding out more, what would be their next
You
step?
can go to classicalconversations.com and you can fill out a form that says you'd like to know more information. That will kick your contact information to either myself or to my support rep who lives in Hannibal. And they'll reach out and answer any questions I have. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Thank you,
Kacie.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Are there any challenges or obstacles that you feel like you've had to face to kind of help overcome?
I think one of the hardest things I struggle with is when people ask me what classical conversations is.
How do you just sum it up in a few words?
It's so hard. I was the same way. It's so hard to sum up in a few words. It's really something that's best if you see it in action. And that kind of makes more sense.
So how did you first get introduced to it?
I had some friends in the Mexico area that were a part of CC, and I loved how poised their children were, and how I just loved a lot of aspects to the community aspect. I think sometimes when we homeschool, we feel like we have to stay home in school, and you don't. This gives us the community, and my kids have friends, and I have great mom friends that are if I'm struggling with something, then they're always a resource, and they're Christian women, and that makes a huge difference. So they're if I ask for prayer, I know they're going to pray, which makes a huge difference when you're dealing with it. So,
so this doesn't mean it's solved every problem.
Nope,
You still have to work through problems too. Just making sure.
Definitely do.
And then, what was your own experience as a child growing up?
So I went to public school and had a good experience in public school, definitely. And my husband did too. But we just kind of felt when our first child was born, we thought if God leads us there, then we'll go there. And we waited 5 years. And it kind of worked out perfectly. My second child was being born at the same time that my oldest one was going to be starting kindergarten. So it worked out that homeschooling was a good fit for us at the time. So, yeah.
So are there times, I know you guys usually meet here, are there times that you go to other places, like take field trips?
Yeah, so yesterday actually we had a family here organized a trip down to the Old Threshers. We try to go to like the pumpkin patch and the apple orchard and stuff like that to get outside the community. Because the Foundations program, which is for ages 4 through 12, we only meet 24 weeks. When you hit 7th grade and up, you attend for 30 weeks. But so we actually end usually by the end of April. So we have like weekly play dates at a park
Okay,
local,
okay.
through the summer, so the kids can still get together and
Yes.
hang out and stuff. But we do try to do enrichment opportunities as we can,
Okay.
and as it fits in with everybody's schedules.
Right. Well, that's fantastic. So obviously this isn't free to be able to provide the support.
Sure.
If a parent was looking at trying to homeschool, what are some things that they should take into consideration?
Well, obviously their child's age. Our upper level programs, because they're longer and they actually encompass 6 what they call strands.
Okay.
They are there's a higher fee associated with
Okay.
those. For our foundations program, we have a registration fee that's, I think it's like $145, and then we have supply fee.
Okay.
But then it works out to be about a little less than $14 a week to actually meet in community together and all of that. And then we do offer. We have a beloved piano teacher in the area, Miss Rita, and she actually comes and does choir for
nice.
in the afternoons for some of our kids that are here. We do offer a program, which I'm sure Rachel talked a little bit about, for our 10, 11, and 12-year-olds. It's called Essentials.
Okay.
Rachel tutors that for us.
Okay.
And there's it's a separate program, so there's a fee associated with that as well. And I don't remember how much it works out to per month or per week, but
Are the
it's
tutors
comparable.
paid?
The tutors are paid.
They are
Yes,
paid,
they
okay.
receive a portion
Okay.
of the tuition.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But a lot of it's probably based on volunteers, isn't it? But
Yeah, we
parents
do.
are-
We parents are expected to be in the classes with kids because technically the tutors are teaching to
Right,
them.
right.
So parents are expected to be in the classroom, and so yeah, there's a lot of volunteering, a lot of, even if it's just like picking up pencils or
Right.
scooping that kind of stuff up. So yeah, definitely. Yep. It takes every single one of us to make it run for sure.
Right. Well, it sounds like it's very affordable if somebody was serious about
Right.
trying to
When you
get
compare
involved.
it to buying like a full homeschool curriculum, it's very comparable.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. All right, well, I am joined here with a student from the Classical Conversations and a mom. What is your name?
Joy.
Joy, nice to meet you. I'm Kimber. And what's your name?
I'm Leslie.
Leslie, nice to meet you.
Nice
Thank
to
you guys
meet
for
you.
taking time. Can you tell us a little bit about school? What's your day like?
Well, first when we start, we get in, and then we have like 5 minutes, and then
Okay.
we get the opening,
Okay.
where everyone sits down over there, and
Okay.
then we do the pledge of allegiance to the flag, the American flag, like the Bible, and then after that, we go to our classrooms, and then we do science, we do history, and Latin,
Wow.
and geography, and we do a lot of things. And after that, we do art,
Okay.
and then we have a little snack break in the middle of that. Then we have science after that, and then after that, we get lunch, and that's my favorite part. And
Absolutely.
We eat it over there, and then when a grown-up is done, they finish. Then they go outside, and that means that we get to have recess,
Nice.
and that's what we do.
And that's fun too. It sounds like a really full day. Do you have a favorite subject besides lunch?
History.
History? Yeah, what are you learning about in history?
Today we learned 7 wonders of the ancient world, our pyramids and Giza, and gardens of Babylon. We have songs for everything.
Oh, I love that. That really sticks with you then, doesn't it? Helps you remember. Can you say that one more time? Can you sing it again for us?
7 wonders of the ancient world, our pyramids and Giza, and gardens of Babylon, temple of Artemis, and Ephesus, statue of Zeus at Olympia, Mausoleum and Halicarnassus, Pharaoh's lighthouse in Alexandria, Colossus, Rose. Oh.
Wow, you're a good singer. That is fantastic. How long did it take you to learn that?
Well, I've been doing this for a few years now.
Okay, super. So you get to keep building on that, don't you?
Yeah, this is our second time in cycle 1. So this is
Okay.
ancient history.
Okay.
And so I guess the last time you had cycle 1, you were 6. So it's just repeating the same material
Right.
and just expanding on it and
So
building
how old are
on
you
it.
now?
9.
9. All right. I'm trying to think of what else to ask. Is there anything else that you guys want to share? Mom, maybe have there been any challenges or obstacles with setting making this happen?
But homeschooling?
Yes, homeschooling
In
in
general,
general.
yeah, it's an exhausting pursuit, but it's very worth it.
Okay.
I'm learning that just because something's hard doesn't mean it isn't worthwhile.
Yeah.
And so the time that we've been able to spend together as a family has been invaluable. And I'm actually a former public school teacher. I
Okay.
taught middle school history
Okay.
for 7 years, and both my husband and I were public schooled.
Okay.
So homeschooling wasn't on our radar at all, and it just kind of happened by accident when my oldest was getting ready to register for kindergarten.
Okay.
And I just found myself like I couldn't do it. I just could
Yeah.
not do it. And my husband, when we were talking about the homeschool thing, he just really encouraged me and said, don't even look at the big picture. Don't think like you're homeschooling him till high school, because I couldn't even picture that. I didn't even know what that would look like. He said,
Kind of take it
it's
year
just
by year.
kindergarten.
Right.
And I was like, I can do kindergarten. At that point, I wasn't teaching public school anymore. I was staying home with my kids.
Sure.
And I did kindergarten, and I just fell in love with it. It was
Okay.
such a gift. Then we found the Classical Conversations community.
Okay.
And I didn't join because I knew anything about classical education. It was more just, we need people. We need, we need community. And so that's been a real blessing to us as well.
Okay. So how did you get connected with Classical Conversations?
Well, a friend of mine from church she lives in Pike County,
Okay.
but she was driving all the way to Troy for a
Okay.
community that they had there. So
Okay.
we did that together for 3 years, and then we started this community here.
Good. There was enough interest to start your own.
Yeah.
Neat. Oh, that's wonderful. Do you like it? Do you have some friends? Good. Good.
I have friends that joined, and I have friends that I met here.
Yeah?
Like Ellie. She was here, and well, I met her here.
Right.
Now she's my friend.
Right. Absolutely. Make friends. I'm kind of at a loss. You guys just did a fantastic job, and I really don't even know any more questions to ask you. But is there anything else that you guys can think of that you want to share and let other people know?
Presentation.
Sure. Yeah. Can you tell us about that?
That is more at the end before we get dismissed.
Okay.
And then last year we all had kind of this road where that person got to go first. So next time they have to go last. And next time they could go second last.
Okay.
And I thought that was really good. Now you just have to ask at what place you get, but
Okay.
I still like that too. And I like presentations because sometimes people do facts, sometimes about it too, and I get to learn more about them. Or
Exactly.
learn more about what they're doing.
So what's something you've given a presentation on?
Ostrich.
Ostrich. Okay. So you had to study a lot about ostriches, huh?
Just a paper full.
A paper full. That is wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate meeting you, Joy. Sounds like you're a brilliant girl with a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
Keep that up, okay?
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you guys.
Oh,
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. You've got to hear about the Classical Conversations homeschool program. It's just one of many options that are out there. So I just encourage you to do what's best for your child and get the support you need. Don't feel like you're alone or that there aren't any options. God bless you and treasure each day.